This morning, a group of former UT students has hit an incredible milestone on their podcast called Cinematary.
Very, very interesting. From the classics to modern day releases, the podcast highlights the film industry. Visual storyteller Jillian Taylor sat down with them after recording their 500th episode.
And welcome to episode 475.
An idea started by some UT students back in 2014 that still lives on today, 11 years later.
We're going to be talking about movies that we saw at some point in the recent future in part one.
You're listening to Cinematary, a podcast about movies, old, new, and everything in between.
We like hanging out and talking about movies. And then it was, I think it was kind of, we hit like 50 and 100 and we're like, dang, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of kept going.
They cover all sorts of films, from series on directors like M. Night Shyamalan, to films depicting the Bible, to a whole run of episodes devoted entirely to Shrek.
When you're talking about movies, you also end up talking about life as well, right? And it can create a sense of like having lived a life that does not belong to you, right? There's that famous Roger Ebert quote about movies being a machine that generates empathy.
Over the years, the host lineup has shifted. Today, the core team is 4. Zach Dennis, Andrew Swafford, Michael O'Malley, and Grace Winburn.
What we wanted to do was like create this, kind of, you go see the movie and you walk across to the bar or the coffee shop and like have a conversation after. Like exactly. that's the kind of mold we wanted to bring.
Each year, they meet in person to cover film festivals, including the Toronto International Film Festival. And last weekend, they gathered once again, this time in Knoxville's Central Cinema, to celebrate a huge milestone.
Welcome to episode 500.
500 episodes. They recorded the episode to a live audience.
It's also like a pretty humbling feeling. I'm a part of this thing, something bigger than myself, something that, spans an entire decade, something that crosses countries and time zones.
And while they're hitting pause after this episode, they're calling it a season finale, with plans to return in a fresh way.
The first season was 11 years long.
The first season was 11 years long.
In Knoxville, I'm Jillian Taylor.
By the way, the 500th episode drops later this morning.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, you can listen on Spotify or cinematary.com.